Opening scene, dimly lit courtroom. A man stands at the witness stand, visibly shaking and trembling. What happens when a truth buried for decades claws its way back to the surface, ripping through the facade of a calm courtroom? What if the words spoken there could upend lives and expose the deepest shadows of human experience? In this shocking tale, we delve into a reality that is both harrowing and extraordinarily powerful. A 14-year-old boy's silence, twisted into a narrative of trauma and betrayal. His story, until now, had been hidden behind a wall of fear and shame. But today, in this courtroom, he stands ready to unleash it all. This is the heart of a narrative that many may never understand, but one that we must examine how a single act in our formative years can cast long shadows into adulthood. The man, calling himself Michael, begins his testimony, and the room holds its breath, anticipating each word with a mix of incredulity and horror. Michael, I was just a kid. Those are the words that hung in the air like electric tension, a spellbinding intersection of innocence and betrayal. What he is recounting has the power to shatter the illusions that many create to survive. He speaks of a man almost a shadow in his childhood life, who invaded the safe space of his youth. This man, a close family friend, did not just cross a line, he obliterated it. In the mind of a child, there is an implicit trust, a belief that adults with their towering presences and soothing words are safe bearers of love and guidance. But what Michael experienced was a seismic rupture in that belief. At 14, he became a reluctant witness to the grotesque theater of betrayal, the calculated manipulation disguised as care. Michael, I remember the first time he approached me. It felt wrong, but he convinced me it was normal. Secrets can be potent poison. They grow in the shadows, consuming the spirit of the one burdened with their weight. Michael carried this secret like a heavy stone strapped to his back, dragging it through the years, influencing his relationships, his ambitions, his very identity. For years, he remained silent, living a life shackled by shame and disbelief. But in a twist of fate, he decided to reclaim his voice. This has become more than a legal battle. It's a personal renaissance, echoing through the corridors of his soul. Michael, it's time for the truth. And so the courtroom transforms, the judge, the jury, and the observers are transfixed, not merely by the allegations, but by the indomitable spirit of a man reclaiming his narrative. This is about courage, vulnerability, and confronting those dark corners of the psyche that society often dares not to tread. When tragedy meets resilience, we witness a powerful confrontation, not just between accuser and accused, but within the very fabric of human experience. Michael's story is one of defiance, an unmasking of the demons that haunt us. Each word he speaks reverberates, echoing the pain of countless others who have yet to speak their truth. Scene opens with a shot of a packed courtroom, tension palpable in the air. What do you do when your childhood nightmare returns to haunt you in the most unexpected place? Today, we dive into a harrowing tale of betrayal, encourage one man's shocking revelation in a courtroom filled with judgment, skepticism, and collective trauma. Meet Michael, a 34-year-old man who fans the flames of a truth he buried for 2 decades. What begins as an ordinary day in court escalates into an explosive testimony that shakes the very foundations of trust and innocence. At just 14 years old, Michael suffered a violation that would ripple through his life, a vulnerability exploited by someone he should have been able to trust. Michael, it was supposed to be a safe space. His voice trembles as he speaks, yet within that tremor lies a fierce determination. The very essence of psychological trauma is built on silence, a cloak of shame wrapped tightly around victims. Michael's silence kept him imprisoned in a world where fear ruled, but today he is ready to break free. When we're children, we trust the adults in our lives to safeguard our innocence. Michael's childhood friend, a figure cloaked in familiarity, wielded that trust like a weapon. He weaved a web of manipulation, convincing Michael that something horrifying was normal. Michael, he said it was our secret, that nobody would understand. Psychological manipulation like this can create a cocoon of confusion for young minds. The profound betrayal of trust becomes a mental maze, leaving scars that neither time nor denial can erase. Michael battled feelings of self-blame, guilt, and unending shame. What he didn't realize was that his silence was the true oppression, an internal strife festering, waiting for the right moment to surface. Asterisk as Michael's testimony unfolds, the courtroom transforms into a battleground, not merely between accused and accuser, but one that resonates deeply within all onlookers. Each grain of truth he reveals ripples outward, challenging everyone a daring confrontation of the systemic silence many still endure. Michael, asterisk, it's time for me to tell my story. Asterisk, and thus, the metamorphosis takes place. This is no longer just a matter of the law, it is a reclamation of power. With each word, he dismantles years of fear, redefining his identity from victimhood to survivor. Ordinary courtroom proceedings become extraordinary acts of bravery. In the echoes of Michael's painful recollections, we confront humanity's collective struggles with trauma, trust, and the haunting specter of betrayal. Behind every courtroom drama lies a deeper story, the psychological intricacies that form when innocence meets cruelty, and how the human spirit fights to reclaim its narrative. Asterisk today, in this courtroom, as the past collides with the present, we bear witness not just to injustice, but to the incredible strength found in truth-telling. The journey is far from over, but Michael has taken the most crucial step. He has begun to speak. Scene opens with a close-up of a courtroom's gavel striking fiercely against the wood. What if I told you that one man's truth, locked away in the depths of his memory for 20 years, has the power to shatter lives and redefine justice? In this shocking courtroom revelation, we uncover a harrowing tale of betrayal and resilience, where the past collides violently with the present. Asterisk, meet Michael, a name that may be unfamiliar to you, but a face that embodies the silent struggle of countless forgotten victims. At just 14 years old, Michael was thrust into an abyss of horror and shame, a world where trust was twisted into a weapon. Today, he stands before a jury ready to expose the truth about the man who committed unspeakable acts against him. Imagine a childhood filled with laughter, friendships, and dreams. Now, imagine that very childhood being violently ripped away by someone who should have protected you. Michael's story is a tapestry woven with innocence tainted by manipulation. The man he once knew as a family friend became a monster cloaked in familiarity. Michael, asterisk, I thought he was my protector. Those words hang in the air, a stark reminder that insidious betrayal often hides in plain sight. Unbeknownst to Michael, the psychological chains of manipulation had already taken hold. The bond that was supposed to signify safety became a prison, ensnaring his young mind with a web of confusion and shame. When victims remain silent, it's not just their voices that are muffled. Their entire being can be stifled by the weight of their untold story, shackled by fear and doubt. As Michael recounts his experiences, he bravely confronts this darkness. His words are not merely accusations, they are lifelines thrown into the turbulent sea of his reality. In the shadowy realm of psychological trauma, silence is often misinterpreted as consent. For years, Michael battled the intrusive ghosts of his past, grappling with an identity marred by dread. He carried the burden of shame as if it were a badge of honor, a mask to hide his pain from the world. Michael, asterisk, I stayed quiet for too long. His declaration is not just an act of rebellion, it's the beginning of a transformative journey. In this critical moment, Michael seizes the reins of his narrative, shifting from victim to warrior. The courtroom becomes a sanctuary, a stage where he transforms his pain into power, unveiling the ugly truth hidden behind years of silence. In this courtroom confrontation, Michael is not merely fighting for justice. He's igniting a much-needed dialogue about the rampant silence surrounding trauma. His courage reverberates, opening the floodgates for others who have suffered in silence, urging them to come forward. This is not just Michael's battle, it's a collective reckoning. As he stands there, he invites all of us to confront our own buried truths. The ripple effect of his testimony will echo far beyond these walls, challenging us to dismantle the social barriers that allow such horrors to persist unchecked. In a world straining against the weight of secrecy, Michael's journey serves as a beacon of hope. Today, he steps into the light, ready to expose not just what happened to him, but what remains hidden in the shadows of society itself. The courtroom becomes a crucible of transformation, where the past, present, and future intersect in a profound quest for truth and healing.